Oh, hallelujah. This is to the world. Listen, I was watching a video where there was this um, white guy talking about he don't feel, no, that he was tired of apologizing for that which his ancestors may or may not have done in the past. And he don't feel that he owe anybody anything, and that he would not continue to apologize or feel bad about something that he did not do. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. Black folk, listen and listen well. White folk, listen and listen well. Now, I agree with what that man said. He do not owe us an apology. He do not owe us not a penny. But if he choose to give us an apology, we receive it. If the white folk of this world today choose to give apologies, we receive it. But if you don't, oh well. It was your ancestors. It was not you. Black people, it was their ancestors that did it to our ancestors. It wasn't them. It wasn't us. However, I do believe that they not per those people. No, those people are us people. I don't care what color the skin is. We are all one and the same. Okay. Now, it's just some wicked and some ain't. And that's in all races, not in one race. Okay. Now, it is the government that owe not reparations, but inheritance. And a lot of y'all call it reparations because I believe we're talking the same thing. But I call it inheritance. And the reason why I call it inheritance is because our people were taken from their home at the direction of a pope saying that God said that it was okay. That he got this divine message saying, excuse me, y'all, that it was okay to go to any country that is a non-Christian country and take over the land and put the people into slavery. I know y'all have seen my video that I made a couple weeks ago where they renounced that law in 2023. The Pope that's in office now, I think it's Pope Leo, I think. But the one that's in office now, he just extended an apology. What, about a week ago? Not even quite a week. It might be a week now. He just extended an apology in the role that the Catholic Church played in this atrocity. Before the Catholic Church made it legal, there was somebody that had went and started taking people from Africa. I think it was like maybe 12 years before the law was put in place. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was 12 years. And then the Pope came along and put that law in place saying that it was given to him from divine revelation. However, when the Catholic Church, when the Pope said that it was given to him, that's when the Atlantic slave trade started. And it just grew from there. Okay. It was never supposed to happen. And We all know, even the government know, that it was wrong for that to happen. Yes, it may have been yesterday, but listen to me. Listen to me well. The Pope said it, and the government agreed to it. They made it a law that they could do such a thing. The Catholic Church, the Pope, the Vatican, y'all really, again, need to really try to work something out with the children of those slaves that was brought here and misused and abused and killed and tormented and tortured. No, it wasn't the people of the day that did it, but there's a lot of people that are living off of monies that was made from then, off of our ancestors. They're just about everything that the world, not just America, that the world used was created by, not everything, but just about, was created by a slave. And it was a white person's name put on that invention. And their families are still living off of the inventions that that slave made. When, if he hadn't been enslaved, hadn't been taken unlawfully and enslaved, his inventions would be still feeding his family today instead of the wrong family today. You understand what I'm saying? If our ancestors had been given a wage, not somewhere to sleep, and that was atrocious, not food when that was just the guts and stuff of the animals. I mean, it was horrible. Y'all know, I ain't got to run it down. If they had been paid a wage, which there wasn't, then we couldn't have anything to say. But they wasn't given a wage. And because they wasn't given a wage, they wasn't allowed to be able to leave something for their children besides deep embedded fear, and a lost identity. That's the only thing our ancestors was able to leave us, was the loss of our identity, and a fear and a torment that's deeply embedded in our generations after generations after generations because of the things that our ancestors endured. No, each individual don't owe us anything, but I do believe that the government owe and the Vatican owe. Vatican, because it was one of your popes that lied and said that, yes, you guys have apologized. Yes, you guys have now removed that law. But nevertheless, it was because of that law that caused my people and many people like me to come and be put into a slavery that should have never happened. We're still living day by day. We're still struggling when our families shouldn't be struggling. Hey, hey. This world operates off of our ancestors' blood, sweat, tears, and mind power, their creativity. It still operates today off of my people from yesterday, off of many other people my color of yesterday. But yet we still suffer, we still go through, we still struggle. We are still despised. We are still being tormented. We are still being oppressed. We are still being depressed. We are still going through things that we should not be going through. And it was all because of greed, power, and misplaced anger. And this shouldn't be. This shouldn't be. We should not have to be begging and pleading for something that you guys owe us, and we know that you owe us, as well as you yourself know that you owe us. Um, that's like one of your children working a job and not getting paid for that job. How would you feel? And even though it wasn't my children, I'm their children. I'm one of their children. And I don't feel good about my people having to work and suffer and be tormented and humiliated and stripped of their dignity, of their human rights, of their will, of their choice. I don't appreciate it. And none of us appreciate it. And I feel that it should be made right. Now, every other race that has endured anything, they have been compensated. Even down to the slave holders of yesterday, they were compensated. They were the criminal, but they got paid. However, our ancestors were the victim, and they still haven't received anything. Their families are still struggling from the things that they endured. They worked for payment that someone else received, and someone else is still living off of in a lot of cases. And it's not right. And I'm not saying anyone owes an apology, but I do say that the government and the Vatican do need to make it right. I believe that you guys need to make it right. Yes, it was yesterday, but nevertheless, they were still my people and many other black people, black Americans. Because some of us were free anyway, but then the majority of black Americans today came from the y'all. I watch everything. I'm sorry. Came from the off. We are the offsprings of a black slave that was taken and uprooted from their home. We shouldn't have to be begging, because I don't believe we're begging. We're just simply asking for what is truly owed to us. And y'all know y'all owe us. I'm not talking about the 40 acres and the mule. That should have been given to them then when it was promised, but it wasn't. They were cheated out of that. And then when some did get it, the next president came in and took it back when they shouldn't have even been allowed to do that. But they still made it. They still made it. They showed their resilience and they made it. Beautiful. But nevertheless, you cheated them out of what was promised them. You took their humanity. No, it wasn't you, but it was your forefathers. Your ancestors did that to my ancestors. And some of y'all is still living off of that which you got from my ancestors. And from many other people's ancestors. You all owe it. You owe it. Just make it right and give us that which you owe us. Okay? That's all it's all about. It's not about you owe me nothing. It's about the government owing us. It's about the Vatican, the Catholic establishment owing us. And it's not about for me, and I pray that my sisters and brothers of the same race that have ancestors of slavery, I pray that one day they will understand and realize that it's not about hatred. See, it wasn't even hatred that got us in that mess. It was just a simple fact that somebody saw something that they can make money off of and get empowered from. It wasn't even about hatred. Hatred had nothing to do with it. It was simply about money and power. And today, it's not about us hating white folk. I pray for me, it's not about hating white folk. It's not. I didn't endure it. My grandmama raised me, and she came up toward the end of slavery. She was born in 1890 something. So she came up toward the at the end of slavery, and she never wanted to talk about her past, her family. Um, she never she never expressed anything about her past. You know, we had to do a family tree. One of my cousins had to do a family tree to find out who her mom and her dad was. Um, she was a beautiful woman, but she was a quiet woman. Her hair was messed up a little bit, but you couldn't tell it unless you lived with her. um, she, I'm gonna say, I'm safe to say she hated white people, but it's because of what they endured. It's about what they done to her. You know, she didn't hate white people to the point where she couldn't function in front of them. So she was able to function with them and treat them as she should, but she never really talked to white people about white people. She never wanted to really be around white people. She was only around them when she had to be. Um, and she would always be sad when she got out of their presence. That was my grandmother. Not my great grandmama, not my great great grandmama, my grandmother, my mama's mama. Um, she had a lot of land. She was married 3 times, and each one of them died. So no, she wasn't a hussy. She just, when one died, because my grandma was a beautiful woman. She was beautiful. Um, but she ended up losing her land. We don't know why or how. We actually believe that they just came and took her land because her husband died. She had 14 kids, and they just came. I believe they just came and took her land. She even had animals. She had horses and cows and stuff, but they came and took it. I believe she never told us what happened, but that's because she has suffered through so much. And I tell y'all this because the hurt and the hardship that our ancestors went through was really uncalled for. And I don't care what color your skin is. You wouldn't appreciate it, and you wouldn't want it, and you wouldn't understand why someone, another man, another being would put that kind of hurt and hardship on you or your family or your children. Are you understanding what I'm saying? When somebody get killed today, they killed mine. Oh, but just imagine one race killing off another race just because they feel that they can. Imagine that. Can you imagine the hurt and the pain? Can you imagine a mother being beat and a baby being cut out her belly, and then before you die, you watch them stomp on that baby head? Can you imagine that? See, and I'm not going to go off into no more graphic details. I mean, and that was probably too much. But can you imagine that? Them taking your baby. Okay, one more. Taking your baby and taking it, throwing it out in the lake for an alligator to come and get it so they could get the alligator close enough to the land just so they could catch the alligator to use his skin and his meat. Can you imagine the hurt and the devastation behind something like that? And there's so many horrific things that happen. That's why, and it's embedded in this in their soul, and that's why it's passed down to even the children of today. And it don't help with the lead and the stuff that they put in the water to mess up our kids' heads. You know, it's already embedded. It's already a devastation embedded in their soul. So see, you wouldn't want that to happen to you. So to say that Y'all don't owe us anything. Yes, you do. Most of the things that the world run off of today, again, was made by the hands of our ancestors. It was designed by the hands of our ancestors. But because they were black, the master took it and put it in their name. Because they wasn't allowed to have money, the master took it and put it in their name. It was a couple that found someone that was able to put it in their name and gave them their portion, gave them their money and took a portion. But they was a couple that was able to find help like that. And that shouldn't be. Because right now today, the patent that was put in the white man's name, and he done moved on, their family living off of it and still getting money off of it. When it should have been the black man, the one that came up with the creation, the invention, the one that designed the invention, and the one that, delivered the invention. But it's not. It's not. You guys owe us, and we shouldn't have to keep fighting for it and fighting for it and fighting for it, because you owe it. It's not you per se, but it's the government itself. It is the Vatican itself, the entity. It is not the person or the people of today. It is the entity that the people of yesterday belonged to that allowed it to happen. So in America, it was the government that allowed that law to go, and you allowed it to happen. It is the government that owed for that. The Vatican, it was your Pope that said that he had a divine revelation, and it was wrong. He lied, flat out lied. Yes, you finally threw that law away out. You finally apologized. Thank you. Bless you. But now, pay for the mistake that was made. That's all it takes. Make this thing right. You can't make it right with my people, but you can make it right with their family. You can make it right with their families. You wouldn't be able to, and you wouldn't want to see one of your children sold off, or to watch your wife be made to have sex with her son because you wouldn't want another baby to come in the world to be used as a slave. You wouldn't want that. Where's your compassion? Where's your understanding? You got the knowledge, but where's your understanding, your wisdom, and your compassion? Make it right with their families. It is old. Pay off their debts. Pay off their debt. That's it. That's all I'm asking. And that's all any of us is asking. It's not to cause no harm or no hardship. And I know people mad, but they shouldn't be. Gotta sit down and think this thing through. Think it through. Pay off the debt that the government owe. Pay it off. That the Vatican owe. Pay it off. Pay that debt. And everybody, stop being mad and angry with one another because of what happened back then. We didn't do it. They didn't do it. We didn't suffer it. They didn't put the beating on us. They didn't cause us to go through that atrocity. Stop being mad at each other. Stop being angry with each other. Stop the nonsense. A lot of y'all be talking about white people. I've seen videos where a white person said the word nigger and y'all beat them up. Why? Do y'all not understand that word only means a ignorant, unlearned, uneducated person? It don't mean a slave. It don't mean a black person. That's something that somebody threw in there after somebody decided, well, this will make a good race war. This will keep them mad. Do y'all not understand that? And when the word was used back then, think about the true meaning. Unlearned, uneducated, ignorant person. That could be any race. That could be any race. Not just black people. Any race. Stop and think about what y'all doing. There's no need to be angry and mad at people. I may call somebody a nigga. Am I gonna get, is y'all gonna hit me? Not. But because a white person said y'all ready to just go to work on them. No, stop. They ain't the one that did that. And think about it. The slaves, my ancestors and your ancestors that were slaves, when they was brought over here, they were unlearned of America. They were ignorant to America's customs, and they was uneducated of America. Think about it. Yes, they say that it's a grueling, gruesome ways, but think about it. They actually were. They actually were. Get some wisdom and understanding with this thing. Stop fighting over some nonsense. There's a whole lot of stuff to be fighting over. But something like that, stop fighting each other over that. That's some nonsense. There's a plot that's been put there and people falling into it. Leave it alone. Stop falling in that hole. Leave that hole alone. Okay? And Mr. Man, the one that made that video, I appreciate that video. And a lot of people was really, really mad about that video. But I'm going to tell you, I appreciate you making that video. And I totally agree with what you said. You do not owe anyone an apology. You do not owe anyone anything. You don't. If it was your ancestors that was involved, then they the one owe it, not you. But they not here to pay it. So who should pay it? The government and the Vatican. Because those were the two entities that could have stopped it. The Vatican people, not individually, but that entity. He shouldn't have started it. When he started it, they could have stopped it, but they didn't. They didn't even take the law until 2023. And the government in America, they could have stopped it then when it started, but they didn't. They allowed it. They allowed it. Those are the ones that owe. It's the entities, not the people. Okay, the establishment, not the people. That's who owe it. Okay? Now, y'all, I say this with the love of Christ. And I hope y'all get an understanding out of what I'm saying. There's no need of being mad at each other. I love y'all. And y'all have a good one. Peace. Keep the peace.